Assalamu alaikum students, this is Muhammad Ismail, your business teacher. Today we will discuss paper 1, which was conducted as your mock 1 paper during December 2019 mock 1. Students, here I would like to brief you about that how a paper should be attempted, and at the same time what an examiner expects from you. Because it is paper 1, and in paper 1 we have two sections. Section 1 is based on short questions, and in short questions the examiner expects you that for 2 marks you will give definitions, and for 3 marks you will give an explanation. So these two things are 2 steps we need to keep in mind whenever we will attempt section 1. Whereas section 2 is based on 20 marks, it has 3 essays, and we need to attempt only 1 essay. And in case of essays, the examiner expects you that you need to highlight your knowledge and understanding. Then you need to highlight that how you can explain what you understand. Number 3, which is expected from you, is that your analysis, when you need to bring variation in a situation so that you can demonstrate how deeply you understand this. And number 4, which is the very important thing, that is your evaluation. That if you were the person to decide, how you could have decided. Let's proceed. Section A of the paper. The first question was, define the term hierarchy as used in formal organizations, in formal organizational structures. It was 2 marks, so it means here we need to give the definition. And we can give the definition like this. The term hierarchy is used to describe the order of management in business organization. It shows chain of command and the distribution of authority through different levels of accountability in an organization. So this is the definition. You can earn easily 2 marks. Its B part is briefly explain 2 advantages of hierarchical organization. Now here clearly the examiner is emphasizing on the 2 advantages of hierarchical organization. So it means clearly the examiner expects that you need to explain. Okay, this is how you can. First, you will say that hierarchical organizations have explicit roles and relationships among human resources as controls and accountabilities are well defined. So first of all, you established that in hierarchical organizations, which things are like roles and accountability are clearly defined. Now, we are going to give the 2 advantages, and these are: hierarchy sets out communication channels and authority and responsibilities associated with each level of management. This is the first advantage. The second advantage, it helps to assess the span of control, that is, whether it is broad or narrow. I mean, span of control is broad or narrow. And the third potential, it is asking for 2, but I thought I can give because it just came to my mind. So the third one, the hierarchical organizations commonly sport bureaucratic leadership style. So now this is in a way something as an intuition, we can say. The third one is for A star. So this is how your question number 1 is completed. Question number 2, the term retained profits. Now here because it is for 2 marks, so we are supposed to give the definition. Retained profit is undistributed profit. It appears on liability sides of a balance sheet in the form of reserves. Full stop. It is main internal source of finance and owned by shareholders until reinvested in the business. This is the definition. It is finished. But why we are saying over here that it is owned by the shareholders? Because profits are rewarded to the owners of the business and shareholders are the owners of the business. That is why. It's B part. Briefly explain the purpose of a balance sheet for a business. So here the emphasis is on the purpose of balance sheet. It means we do need to know what balance sheet is about. Okay. So we will start the answer like this. Balance sheet expresses business valuation in terms of assets, liabilities, and capital. It shows business financial position at a point in time through working capital, which is current assets less current liabilities. Liquidity ratios can be conducted to assess business liquidity. So it means this is one of the very important ratio or analysis which we can conduct through a balance sheet. So it means this can be one of the main purpose of the balance sheet. Second, it helps to diagnose business capital structure. Now, what is capital structure? Mean the debt equity mix. So it means its other purpose can be that in what ratio the debt and equity exists in a business. Third, it also enables financial experts to find out book value of ordinary shares given the accuracy of this financial document. So it means if the balance sheet figures are accurate, so a financial expert can accurately find the book value of equity or common stock. And it can help the potential investors to decide whether they should buy the stock if they are potential investors, and if they have already invested, so then they can decide whether they should sell it or not. Okay. Third question. Explain the strengths and weaknesses of autocratic leadership. Now here clearly strengths and weaknesses of autocratic leadership is required, but the question is for 5 marks, so it means there will be a coexistence of definition and explanation. So first of all, we will start the answer like this. Autocratic leadership features authoritarian decision making and control over group of workers. Authoritarian. It means an autocratic leadership has authority to take a decision without taking the workers on board. Okay. Then strengths. Its strengths involve quick decision making, particularly in stress-filled situations. It has clear chain of command. It's quite practical for strong, visionary, directive leadership traits. These are strengths. What are possible weaknesses? While the leadership or while this autocratic leadership style discourages workers' input in decision making, it does impair or damage morale and lead to resentment among workers. It also ignores creative solutions by negating the subordinate expertise. Full stop. This was the answer for 3. Question number 4. State 2 ways of measuring the size of a business. 2 marks, so mean definition. Business size is about how big or small it is. It can be measured through market share, capital employed, or market capitalization. But it does suffer from labor intensive and capital intensive exceptions. Now, the last line gives the examiner in depth knowledge, an A star. B part, briefly explain why growth may not be the most important objective of a business. Now, in this question, is saying growth, it is one of the objective, but why it should not be the main important objective of the business. It means there are other objectives. We will start the answer like this. Growth describes only rate of change of sales, do have while businesses do have other objectives, as a certain objective is not necessarily appropriate for all the businesses, such as market share, profit maximization, survival, corporate social responsibility, retrenchment, or economies of scale. I mean, these are the potential objectives which businesses can have other than growth. Persuasion of a certain objective goes by the business size and relative strength of the stakeholders, whereas growth is prone to internal and external corporate problems. At the same time, business do, do set long versus short term objectives, whereas growth is long term objective. So it means it does depend on a business that business is setting this objective for the long term or for the short term. Full stop. This was section A, students. So this is basically an idea that this is how you are supposed to attempt the paper. Now you have attempted, so you better look at it again and try to find out how close your responses were. And then you try to improve your response further in the line of this guidance. It will improve your response, and at the same time, it will help you to get a deeper knowledge and sharpen your analytical skills to understand what an examiner expects from you in section A. Until the next lecture for section B, goodbye, have a nice day.